So this guy, or this girl actually, is saying not sure where this relationship is heading. Folks, this is what women say when they are interested in being exclusive with a guy and they're trying to figure out where the guy's head is at. Maybe that's the summary of this entire post. I haven't read it yet, but let's see if I'm correct. So guys, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is Love Life, the channel dedicated to answering all of your life's questions regarding dating and relationships, because dating and relationships these days are so trifling and someone needs to help them out, and that's why I'm here. So let's get to it. Hi everyone. A few weeks ago, I, 22-year-old female, met a guy who's 27 on Tinder. After a few days of talking, we decided to meet up in a bar after work. I was nervous, but it turned out great. He was fun, and I laughed a lot. And we even had some slightly flirty moments. Good, he's flirting. He knows the game. He knows he has to flirt to get the interest up. You can't just go and talk to girls, hey, where are you from? She's like, oh yeah, I'm from Illinois. Where are you from? I'm from Michigan. Oh, that's cool. It's boring. It's never going to get you anywhere. You have to flirt. You have to show interest. So that's very important. We both had a great time, so we decided to meet up again the next week. But this date was different. I was still pretty nervous, but it was okay, because you had high interest, that's why you're nervous. But there was still some semi-awkward silences. Ooh. I mean, it was not a bad date, but not as fun as the first one. So when a guy gives an awkward silence, I found that it's not the awkward silence, or it's not the silence that makes it awkward, it's how he reacts to the silence that makes it awkward. Because you could deliberately be silent and just be calm and have a state of calmness. And when that woman sees that you're calm and you're not worried about the silence, and you're just chilling, you're just like, you're looking at her, or you're not looking at her at all, you're just chilling, and she sees that your body language is congruent with your strength and confidence that you're portraying, guess what? The silence isn't awkward. It's when you react as a man to the silence and you see it as awkward, then she goes, oh yeah, it's awkward because he thinks it's awkward. Your body language will give it off. Your tonality will give it off. Your vibe will give it off. So it's only awkward, gentlemen, if you make it awkward, because the man is the leader. He's always going to set the tone. And that's what we have to always remember, guys. You guys are the leader. Even though feminism and society teaches you that everything's equal, men and women are not equal in function. They're equal in worth, but not in function. Just remember that, guys. Okay. I mean, it was not bad. It was not a bad date, but not as good as the first one. Also, he asked me questions about my previous relationships. Bad. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. Ever. Bad move. Which was kind, and what kind they were. I don't know if it means anything. Yeah, she doesn't. See, women don't consciously know that these are bad things. They just feel that it makes them uncomfortable. But it's bad because it's demonstrating that you're not in the moment and that you're actually trying to look in the past for confirmation that you're good enough. You're comparing yourself to her past relationships. It's like you're comparing yourself to those other guys that she dated in the past, and it makes you look weak in her eyes. It literally lowers your value. So you don't want to bring up past relationships or ask her about past relationships. You act as if they don't exist. And if she brings up other guys, you say, hey, you can talk about those other guys when you're not with me. That's a smooth line you could throw at a chick when she brings up those other guys. So he also mentioned that ghosting someone is childish, and he thinks people should have the guts to be honest if they just don't feel it. So he's bringing up serious situations, and what's happening in her mind is this is putting her in a logical state of mind, and this is never good. When a woman is thinking, does this mean anything? It means she's not feeling the moment. She should be experiencing the second date just like she did the first one. I felt great. We were flirting. It was great. She wants to feel the energy, and the general energy should be, he was giving me positive vibes. He was very in the moment. It felt great. That's what she should be saying. Instead, she's asking logical questions like, I don't know if this means anything. Anytime you get a woman in a position where she's having to ask a question about what he said, it means she starts to feel those red flags. And those red flags are negative. Okay? Because here's the thing. She's either feeling good feelings or she's feeling bad feelings. If she's feeling wishy-washy or she's feeling nothing, and here's how I know she's not feeling anything here. I don't know what it means. I don't know if that means anything. Does this elicit any emotion? When you see this here, I don't know if that means anything. That kind of question doesn't elicit emotion. It elicits a logical response. It's a logical response. Okay. Now, when women are starting to date guys and starting to get to know guys, what happens is they have this thing where if they have to ask or get insecure about how a guy behaves, or have to question how a guy behaves, then they're going to err on the side of caution almost always. So if they sense that there's red flags, the most confident, the most feminine women are going to err on the side of caution. So if they start seeing these questions pop up in their head that are numerous, that are logical and numerous, so logical and numerous, remember that, then what's going to happen is they're going to start to distance themselves. And that is a direct result of the guy coming off as insecure and low value. And they're not going to know why, but they're going to ask questions that might not have anything to do with the actual reason, which is because he's insecure. That's really the answer. The reason why you're questioning the situation is because the guy is acting insecure, and it's making you question the situation. And then when women start questioning the relationship, they start to back away. And they don't necessarily know why they're backing away. Now, women who are self-aware, they know why. And they're able to act in a way to weed out certain guys that demonstrate low value. But most women, they'll just feel your insecure energy, and they will just like, I don't know why. This guy is just, I don't know. He's making me question whether this guy is good enough for me, and I'm not quite sure if he's good enough for me. And this is why a lot of times women say, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready for a relationship. They're not actually lying to you. A lot of times you guys think, okay, women are blowing smoke if they're saying, oh, well, no, I'm not interested because, I'm not sure where my head is at. They're actually telling the truth because they're not sure where their head is at, because you're not making them feel certain about that relationship. And the way you make them feel certain about the relationship is if you make them feel positive emotion, and you tie that positive emotion directly to you. So you flirt with her, just like you did on the first date. You flirt with her, have a good time, ask her questions that elicit positive emotions. So I would ask her a question, an open-ended question. Make sure it's not a yes or no question, because those are boring. Those don't initiate any emotional reactions. Make sure they're questions that elicit positive responses. So what are your favorite? Ask her, so what hobbies do you enjoy doing? What really excites you? And then she goes into those hobbies. When she starts talking about those hobbies, you're asking her about those hobbies. Let's say she likes horse riding. You say, what got you into horse riding? I just like how the horses, they jump up and down, and they make me feel good and alive, whatever. And and when she starts talking about that, how she likes to ride those horses, it elicits the positive emotion, and you go deeper into why she likes riding those horses. And that creates the emotional connection that'll get her drawn to you and close. That'll get her drawn closer to you. Okay, so that's what you should be focused on doing, building that emotional response that is positive. Don't get her in this logical mindset where she's having to ask or question whether the relationship is worth having. Because if she has to ask, again, she's going to err on the side of caution, and she's going to back away. How it happens. Okay, so the fact that she's asking this question means that the guy is eliciting a response that shows he's demonstrating weak behavior. That's low value. And again, when women see this, they back away. So most of these questions I'm answering are from men, but this is from the opposite standpoint. Okay. Men are all about thinking, women are all about feeling. It should be in that kind of paradigm there. The man should be thinking about the strategy of how to get the girl, and the woman should be feeling the feelings that the guy is giving to her or inciting in her that makes her drawn closer to him. Okay. And so over time, that's how men and women bond together. The man thinks about strategy to get the girl. The woman feels the feelings that the man elicits inside of her. Okay. And this is the kind of song and dance that drives us together as a human species. So, a little bit too detailed, a little bit too nuanced, and you guys probably don't really understand the depth of it yet, but this is why I'm here. That's why I have my YouTube channel. That's why I'm pumping out videos for you guys. So let's continue. He also mentions that ghosting someone is childish, and he thinks people should also have the guts to be honest if they just don't feel it. So it's a very, very important point. But again, he's mentioning something serious. Love is playful and fun. So you need to be not serious and not talk about serious things. Talk about positive things. Talk about things that feel good. Talk about things that are fun, exciting. Don't talk about serious subjects. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about like current events, because a lot of times current events are polarizing. You don't want to talk about those things. Now, after this date, we started talking a bit less. I knew he was going on holidays with his friends for the weekend, so I decided not to send him any messages because I didn't want to bother him or whatever. I also felt like he was acting different, but okay. But he did send me a message to wish me a happy New Year's Eve. But then after New Year's Eve, I didn't hear a lot from him either and felt like I was on the one initiating the conversation all the time. So if he liked you, he would have saw the initiation, or he would have saw the initiation from you and set up. He should have set up a date. I can't talk. He should have set up a date right then and there. But he's not even willing to try to do that, and he doesn't seem like he wants to talk to you because he's not initiating contact with you. So that shows low interest. Now, yesterday I decided to ask him out again. I thought I will then either go on a third date with him and see how it goes, or he will just be honest and say he isn't feeling it. But he said yes. So next Tuesday, we are going out for dinner instead of the usual drinks. He's also coming to my city for the first time. Oh, this is long distance. Interesting. Maybe it's a little bit different because long distance is kind of complicated, because if a guy doesn't text you because he's long distance, he might be dealing with a girl who's in his city and might be more interested in her than you. And that's understandable because he has more access to her. This is why long distance relationships never work, because it's a lot easier to get someone in your city. You meet somebody. See, a lot of people start out seeking long distance relationships because of desperation. The thing about it is, once they meet someone in person, it's a lot easier to pay attention to that person than the other person that you have to Skype all the time or text all the time. It's just more work and it's more energy. And human nature wants to work less for things. So it's a lot easier to just date someone in your hometown. It's way easier. So that might be a situation. He might be talking to some other girl. And besides, you're dating. So whether he dates 5 girls or 10 girls or 1 girl, it's really none of your business until you become exclusive. So now when I say date, I mean court. I don't mean like have sex with multiple girls or anything like that. Okay. So now yesterday I decided to ask him out again. I thought it would be either go on a third date, blah, 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 blah. I already read that. But I'm a curious girl. And about 5 minutes ago, I went on Tinder and saw that he changed his profile picture to a new one that he uploaded on Facebook this weekend, which means he has been using Tinder again since we started hanging out. I shouldn't be the one judging him because I too have been talking to someone on Tinder. Well, here's the thing. Until you guys are exclusive, you're not sold to each other. Remember, what you guys do outside of each other's dates, or outside of you guys' dates when you guys meet up and stuff like that. Outside of that, you do whatever you do and he does whatever he does. He can date whoever he wants and you can date whoever you want. Exclusivity is different. Okay? And the dating process is to find the right person and weed them out, and it's kind of your job is to be a detective. Okay? That's the detective part of the relationship. You're trying to detect who's the right one, finding all the red flags. You know, that's what your job is, okay? And you're still 100% involved in your own life. He's 100% involved in his own life, okay? You're not trying to sacrifice each other's lives for each other, okay? That you don't do sacrifice until you're actually exclusive with each other, okay? But when you do show up, you do show up. You show up 100% for that other person. He shows up 100% for you, and you show up 100% for him, okay? That's what happens when you are dating, okay? Where was I? I shouldn't be the one to judge him because I too have been talking to someone on Tinder, but the conversation with that guy isn't going anywhere. We sent each other like 3 messages each, but now I'm feeling down and insecure again, even though I was so happy that we're going on a third date. Also, I should mention here that I'm not in love yet and we haven't had the real romantic spark yet, but I do like him and want to hang out with him more often. So even if you screw up, like he did screw up some on the second date, and he showed a lot of insecurities somewhat, but if the girl's interest level is still high enough, like interest level is between a scale of 5 to 10. If a girl's below a 5, her interest level is basically 0. Or if it's a 4 or lower, she's not going to even want to hang out with you. So your interest level is still there. He's making some mistakes, but if the guy's making more positive behaviors than negative ones, then you'll still be interested. And that's apparent with you right now. So even if he's making mistakes, he's still getting some interest from you, which is good because you want that. And if he continues to do more right things than wrong all the way till week 7, 8, or 9, then you'll want to come out and say, hey, where's this going? Okay. And I was kind of wrong. I said, not sure where this relationship is heading. You weren't necessarily looking for a relationship yet. You're on that path. You still have that interest level there. I don't know what week y'all are in. Maybe you're in week 6 or something. I don't know. But eventually you're going to get to the point where you're going to want to go for the exclusivity. Now, long-term relationship or long-distance relationships are kind of difficult because that distance is going to make it harder for you to feel that commitment to him. It just makes it a lot harder because you're longer distance. But I don't know what week you're on, so who knows. But eventually you're going to want to go to him for exclusivity, assuming he does more right things than wrong, and your interest is higher than his interest is. Okay, which it seems like it is. Okay. So let's continue. Also, I should mention here that I'm not in love yet, blah, 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 blah. I read that part. But things are pretty casual so far, as you probably tell. Anyone here could tell me what all of this means, because I'm honestly a bit lost here. Thanks. What it means, I don't know. You're just going with the flow, and you're feeling attraction to him to a certain level, and eventually you're going. When you're ready, when the oven's ready, basically what's happening is the cake is in the oven and it's rising. It hasn't risen completely yet, but when it's ready, you will know, because what will happen is you'll want to commit to him, and you'll come out and say, hey, where's this going? And you'll want to commit, and you'll want to figure out where things are going. Now, if he starts to continue this pattern of not wanting to hang out with you, not wanting to meet up with you, I think y'all are long distance. I'm not quite sure. Like you said, you met up with each other. You met at a bar, so you can't be long distance. Or maybe you. Let me see. Nah, I don't know. I could read through it, but it's just too long. I just can't find it. Anyway, she said she met up with him. So meet up with him on the third date. Now, if he shows a pattern of not wanting to show up on dates with you, he doesn't continue to show interest in you, and he doesn't initiate hangouts with you, and he doesn't make an effort to have contact with you, then that would be a sign that he's not that interested, or he has low interest, or he has interest in another girl before she has interest in you. So what I would do is just let him make the moves, okay? Back off a little bit. Let him come to you. Let him make the move and say, hey, when are you free this week? Just test him next week. Let him come to you, because you've been doing some of the moves. Let him come to you. Let him make the moves. If he doesn't do that, then just back off. And if he's interested, he'll contact you, and he'll make a date, and he'll go from there. But y'all have a date set up already, but that's for future reference. Just so you know, just future reference. Okay. And when you're on the date, as long as you're doing most of the talking, he's asking you questions, and he's flirting with you, and all that other stuff, then the conditions should be in the right place. And all you have to do is do that until about 6 or 7 weeks in, and eventually you're going to feel comfortable enough to say, hey, where is this going? Okay. Eventually you're going to feel comfortable enough if he's doing all the right things, if he's showing enough interest. And then if he is interested, he will want to be exclusive with you. And then you go from there. So the cake will be ready at that point, and you'll take it out of the oven and you'll just eat it. Okay. So guys, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button next to this subscribe button. And I can't talk today, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good